Tell me a little bit about who you are and where do you come from?
Okay, I'm Kgabo Phaka. I grew up in Limpopo, just 77 kilometers away from Polokwane at a village called Likureng in Hamatlala district. So that's where I'm hailing from. And obviously I was actually born in Soweto, but schooled in Limpopo. And after matriculating, and I moved back to Johannesburg and started my life there. You know, everything started in Joburg. So that's where everything started in my life. So yeah, and I'm currently a director of sales at Fairmont Zimbali, which is in KwaZulu-Natal in Balito. That's where I'm currently at. I've been working for the organization for a year and a half now. However, I've been in the industry for quite some time now.
How did you get into tourism? Where did it all start for you?
Wow. Look, I think from high school, I always knew I was going to be in the tourism industry. In all honesty, back then, because I'm very old, back then in our Black community, the only accessibility that we all knew about tourism, it was either you be a flight attendant or you're working at the airport, and that's used to fascinate me as well. You know, I used to like go to the OR Tambo airport and just look around and look at the premium props, flight attendant looking very lovely, and it used to quite amazes me. And I thought to myself, one day I'm going to be in this industry. So I enrolled for travel and tourism, and just when I completed, I got my first opportunity as a receptionist at Seekers Travel, which is now has rebranded as Tovest. And since then, I've never looked back, and I've worked in various organizations within the industry as well. So it has been an amazing journey.
Why is tourism important to you? Why is this industry so important to you and your family?
Look, I mean, tourism, it's a huge contributor into the economy. And besides that being a huge contributor as well, it's a runner of a supply chain or procuring, if I could put it that way. If you have to look at the organizations like we do in terms of agriculture, we are working with agriculture because there isn't hotel that wouldn't need your fruit and vegetables. The manufacturings for furnitures. So there's quite a lot of things. I mean, you look into in the car rental industry, they move in vehicles, so that is a motor industry, and it's fuel as well. So it's just the one random industry that I love so much because I get to interact with everyone in all sectors. And in terms of my family as well, in terms of tourism, you know, it's time to bond. You create memories as well, because it's main important for at least once in a year if you had saved correctly, you know, just to take the family away and you have lovely time and you bond with the family. Yeah, so that's why I love tourism.
Yes, tourism is very vast and can be enjoyed in many ways.
No, it is. Yeah, definitely, it is. It is.
I would really like to ask you if you could give a message to the women in tourism right now, what would you say to motivate them?
I would say let's break the barriers. The barriers with the women in tourism. If we can break that and support each other, lift up each other as well. That's one message really that I can give to the women in tourism, to say, let's not leave each other back. You know, if you have women in the rural areas, in the urban areas, that you know that you can have implement some programs for them, even though it's not government related, even if on a personal level, just to engage with them, show them other opportunities that are available in the sector. Hence I said quite a lot of people actually don't realize how vast tourism is. You know, people always think of just the hotel building as it looks like, but they don't know what makes that particular hotel building. You know, so many women don't know that they can actually be have a housekeeping company and outsource to a hotel or outsource to flights or car rental or whatever the case may be, or do baking, you know, deliver the cakes to the hotel. You know, there's really just a lot of things. And I'm just hoping for all of us as women, we could empower each other, give us each other opportunities as well, and make sure that we break those barriers.
Wow, very inspiring advice. Thank you.
Yeah,
I would like to
thank
know
you.
what do you love about your job? What stands out for you when you go to work?
Look, I think first and foremost, I'm just walking around with my current job, you know, just walking around the property and seeing clients' satisfaction and exceeding their expectations. That makes me more happier. And obviously, just chasing the target, being sales driven. You know, if the hotel is sitting on 20% occupancy, I start stressing because that's not sales. Sales is it's for me to make sure that the hotel is on full occupancy. And traveling and networking with different people around the world with different types of diversity. And again, just flying the flag as a brand ambassador, because once you're in sales, it doesn't matter what position you're in. Whatever the sales position that you're in, you just automatically be a brand ambassador. How you portray yourself in the public, how you portray the brand that you're representing as well, that becomes very important. And the elite brand that I work for as well, it just be cherry on top as well when you go out there in the world and you say, I work for Fairmont Zimbali Resort, and everybody else just becomes so interested about the brand as well. So it's that as well that really interests me about my job. And again, tourism evolves as well. Every day we learn, you know, and then I like learning every day. I mean, currently, with the current situation, there's just new legislation, there's new regulations, and we're learning every day for things that we didn't know. We never thought that we would be practicing so much of the personal protections, though it has always been in the tourism industry. We've always done it, but now just regulating it as well to that extent, it's a learning on a daily basis. And engaging with the travel suppliers and the stakeholders. Tourism is one sector that you would find unity, you know, if you have to deal with the travel agencies, we deal with the stakeholders from the government as well, the tour operators. So everybody is just engaging, and so that unity, and when we get together as well, it's just amazing. It's just one of those things that when there is a conference, you know that really by the time you left that particular venue, you would be uplifted. If you were feeling down, you will be very much motivated, because the industry on its own is full of happy people.
That is so true. That is so, so true.
Yeah.
Kgabo, if you could ask the president, or if you could speak on behalf of your fellow women in tourism, what would you tell him? What would you ask him?
Look, I think first and foremost, it's crime rate in South Africa. That is a bit of a worry. That I would like the president to prioritize it, because the crime rate affects tourism, especially on the international market as well. Everything that they read on the news, it impacts our business. And again, as well, for women as well, tourism has a lot of women who are traveling alone within the country. So if you're traveling for meetings, you're traveling for trade shows, if he can create a safety environment. I mean, currently in the KZN region, we formed a group within a different organization where when we travel inland or wherever the place can be, we travel together. We do join calls because we as women, we don't feel safe anymore to travel on our own for a long distance. So if he can definitely create a safety environment and prioritize the crime rate in South Africa as well, that would be my number one plea to the president.
Yeah, very interesting. And we have a lot of women traveling, and as we are facing with
yes, definitely a lot of women. I mean, if you have to take all organization in the tourism industry, all the sales managers, your sales rep, moving around the country, going in various meetings in townships, in rural areas, in urban, in factories where there's men dominated as well. So, I mean, gender-based violence against women as well.
What is your greatest hope for after the lockdown has lifted?
My greatest hope is to remain the current collaboration and communication platforms that have been created between public sector and government. I mean, public sector and private sector as well. It has never been like this before. The engagement are amazing. It's this time around, government is listening to private sector. Private sector is listening to government. So we have a mutual understanding. We're working together. Yes, there are challenges, and we all know that we will resolve those challenges as well. So I'm hoping really for this particular current platform that has been created, it has to remain as it is. And to see more fellow South Africans exploring their own country. Because we've seen in many years where people flying out of South Africa and people don't know their own country. We have a very beautiful country with a lot of attractions that they wouldn't get in anywhere in the world. And we need to be very positive for our own country and explore those hidden gems around the country. So if I could see an increase on domestic leisure, I will be a happy person. People don't know their own province. People don't know their tourism attractions. This past Mondays, I drive to the South Coast to Orebi Gorge. What a beautiful place. And yet I'm thinking, where are the people around? Where are the KZN people? Intra-provincial is open. This place should be packed up, but we need to see that people traveling in their own provinces and the country as large as well. If I could have interviewed people, 10 people, and out of them, they said, I know all 9 provinces, I'll be a happy person as well. But currently, people fly out, they want to go to neighboring countries. And I think for us as well as a country, the COVID-19 has led us to be more lenient to our own South African tourists as well. In terms of the market as well, let's create a market for them so that they don't do a comparison to say, if I have to pay 5,000 Rand to tour South Africa, I would rather go international. So we have to be very comparable in terms of our pricing as well.
Be safe.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, bye.